Hello and welcome to Queendom TV. Today I'm going to be talking about my probably final update on all of this Jesy Nelson stuff. The Jesy Nelson stuff, it got very messy, and that's one of the reasons why I wasn't really commenting on it so much, because initially the videos I had initially made were more talking about why I feel that she was not just randomly blackfishing and bringing this new personality out of nowhere, because I'd appreciated where she came from. I remember her journey starting as a soloist on X Factor, then being put into a group with the other girls. And so I was suggesting that, maybe it's not that Jesy is all of a sudden trying to like draw from another culture or utilize another culture that she never, represented before. Maybe she's just finally at a place where she's decided to step into who she always wanted to be, but she maybe was limited in being part of the group. And so that's where I was coming from. But now obviously a lot of things have happened. They've gone back and forth, yada yada yada. If you want to hear my thoughts of when things initially kind of went down, I've done some videos on that, so please check those out. And please also hit subscribe, by the way, if you're enjoying my content. But and now today I kind of want to just round things up and wrap things up, because I kind of feel like that's what Jesy's done as well. Jesy's kind of gone quiet about a lot of this stuff now. Obviously there was the Instagram live with Nicki Minaj, and people were a bit like, whoa, what's happening? They weren't happy about that. Obviously a lot of people were not happy because they felt like there was blackfishing going on, which I kind of touched on why I don't really see this as blackfishing personally. But at this point, it seems to me that Jesy now has kind of cut the chit chat. On her Instagram page now, there's only 6 posts up, which are like her most recent work. And from like Boys being like the first big thing she's now done on her own. And it just seems that now she's kind of decided to just kind of stop talking about and just focus on where she wants to go rather than where she's been. And the reason why I kind of just wanted to round this off in the video today was because I felt like there's a few things to just maybe think about, food for thought. I think one of the things being that, I still think that Leanne having like messaging that influencer that you should be making a video about her blackfishing, not listening to dancing to her music or whatever. I think that's very ugly. I think the fact that she did, I feel like what really happened personally, to be honest, I feel like Jesy was in a group that she didn't click with. I think the other girls, maybe they were happy losing their identity to the group, or maybe the group was the identity they would have wanted to have as soloist anyway. I feel like that was never going to be the case for Jesy. And I think the fact that she struggled, she was always bigger than the other girls from the beginning. And I never thought that was a negative thing, actually. I think she's always looked great. But that was something that she struggled with, and people, people kind of have this idea, this kind of almost like K-pop type of like perfection they expect from groups of people. We don't really see like diverse groups. We tend to see groups of people, like in groups, if you think about a lot of groups, you'll have people that are like almost like all the similar height, all a similar build, all similar looking, but then a little bit something different about each one of them. Like if you think about One Direction, none of them sticks out as like the big one, or none of them sticks out as like the especially tall one, like, yeah, they're kind of a bit similar. Maybe they've got different hairstyles, maybe they've got different vibes going on. They were another group that was put together from X Factor as well. They eventually split up, and I think that was natural for them, and natural for a lot of groups. Even other groups that were never put together, that put themselves together, have split up. Even like JLS was one that split up after they came out together. You've got so yeah, I think in a lot of these groups, they do maximize on the fact that they try and keep people, a bit like, they may be different, but they look like they make sense together in a way, but in a way that's almost too perfect in a way. But anyway, even when that works out, if that's what people want to do, that's fine. But I guess what I'm saying is that for Jesy, I feel that it was hard for her ever to fully fit into that group, is basically what I'm saying, in a very, very long sense way of saying it. I think it was very hard for her to ever fully fit into that group. I think the other girls, from my perspective, still till now, never could fully understand. I think they kind of, it's almost like, like when people have mental health problems and people think that the solution to your mental health problem is so simple. So for example, your mental health problem could be you struggle with depression, and then somebody's like remedy for that, who doesn't understand what it's like to go through depression, might be, well, I've heard that exercise is good for depression, just do some exercise. And it's like, yes, that is great for depression, but that's just one part of it. And this depression thing that I'm going through, there's so many levels to it. It's such a big thing, and it's a big work in progress that somebody has to go through. So I'm going to have to do more than just that thing. And and if as somebody in my life, you're going to have to understand that sometimes the things you think are that simple to be solutions are just not going to be. I kind of feel like there's maybe that kind of dynamic between them as well, because now that Jesy decided to leave, and the manner she chose to leave, the fact that she told the fans first before she told the girls, I feel like it's like, to me, you know, like when you and for those of you who've ever had to deal with, relationships, different types of relationships with people, especially ones where you try and deal with something and then you're not getting anywhere, and so you then just have to make the decision that's right for you at the end of the day, regardless, even though it's not the way you would have preferred to deal with it. I think it was one of those kinds of situations. That's how it's coming across anyway, especially because of how the girls acted. Because one of the things Jesy even said, I think she said it on the Daily Mail, there was somewhere, or this one of a source supposedly actually said, which we don't trust sources necessarily because they're not saying who they are, but she was kind of saying that she never wanted for this to be what was going to happen as a result of her leaving. I really believe that. I believe that she just wanted to do what was right for her, and she would have, I think if the rest of the girls in Little Mix just hadn't said anything and they'd kept everything behind closed doors, then it could have been so beautiful, and just like, Jessy's gone on to do what she's doing, the girls have gone on to do what they're doing. We don't know what we like. Do you know how many times like people in like Hollywood and even the entertainment industry, like things happen and we have no idea what happened? We just hear the result. We just hear, oh, so and so broke up. Oh, okay, why? No one knows. No one knows. And it's because they respect each other on both sides, that no matter what's going on behind closed doors, they allow for us, those of us who are like, the consumers or / fans, however you want to look at it, to not have to be in the middle of things. And it means that, coming out of that, although we might be wondering, people might wonder for a while what happened, eventually people would probably just be like, okay, well, actually, now I like Jessy's music and I like the rest of Little Mix's music as well. And obviously the rest of Little Mix seem like they're going to have some things coming in store. I think the way that they reacted, especially Leanne, I think Leanne is very triggered by Jesy. I think Leanne, who was the black member of the group as well, so she probably has some similar feelings in terms of fitting in to somebody like Jesy. Because I know for me with Leanne, I was surprised at the fact that she had really gone out for the Black Lives Matter stuff like that, and not because I thought she was like a sellout to black people by any stretch, but it just seemed to me that she felt she was more comfortable in the viewpoint of her girl group, which is very much more tailored to the side, not to the side of like, her black side, if you know what I mean. It's never been a big thing that's come out. So I'm wondering if there's an element almost of jealousy on her part from Jesy, to be like, Jessy's really gone and stepped out there, and she stepped out and done something completely different. I think Leanne also maybe allowed maybe some of those areas of her life or her identity to kind of go hidden or dormant in the process of being part of this girl group as well. And so that's why it's just a bit of a shame. I think it's a shame that a lot of the time when somebody does something that's good for themselves, it just offends a lot of people who could literally go and do something good for themselves as well. That's how I feel. I feel like if the rest of Little Mix are that angry at Jesy, then go and just kill it. You guys should be happy to go and kill it now and be absolutely amazing artists, because now this person who's caused so many problems is out of the way. If that's the case. And if not, then just be happy for her, moving on, and you guys do what you got to do. Because I feel like if you're part of a group, it's just a shame that after being in a group for so long, that they had not built the types of relationships where there could have been a very good, strong, respectful separation. And that's on both parts. I'm not saying that's on Leanne or the other girls or even Jesy. I'm just saying that it's a shame that after all this time, it shows that the relationship that they should have had as a group was never there, because they were never able to have that kind of thing where they could just like step away from each other. Well, maybe they could have, but it didn't happen, basically. It didn't happen, did it? So, even with the blackfishing thing, like, again, because Leanne did step in and say something, I'll never know if people would have made as big of a fuss without her saying something. And we never know how it would have worked out. It would have been interesting to see how people would perceive what went on with Little Mix if they hadn't said anything, and then we just left. Because that's what I thought. I was like, Leanne, honestly, if I was Leanne and I was feeling that triggered about it, I would have just left it. Because like social media, everybody's getting cancelled. Like nowadays, you don't even have to do the work. Nowadays, you don't even have to do the work to like try and get somebody cancelled. You just, if somebody does something controversial online, they're getting cancelled. Like, that's why I was just like, I don't understand, Leanne, why you're having to say this, you know? So it's just a shame, like I said, and it's no hard feelings to either side. I think there's a lot of emotions involved. I think probably looking back, they probably on all sides regret maybe how certain steps were taken. And so that's why it's not a chance to blame anybody. But I do think it just shows a lesson in, you know, it shows a lot of different lessons, like as I've already highlighted. Yeah, I think it's time to put this to bed now. I think Jesy's very much in that place. She's been showing that she's preparing now for her live shows, and you can see she's probably like rehearsing for, you know, to be performing this song and other songs that are probably going to come out there. And I'm happy for her. I'm happy for the rest of Little Mix. I hope they can stop focusing on all of this and just allow for them. Just why can't they just tell the story of where they want to go now? You know, they can do that now. They can just open up the door and have a new, you know, I think even Jesy, was it Jesy? No, even Leanne said on a podcast that it's an ending and a new beginning. And I think that's true, and I think that's good, and I think that would have been the healthy thing to focus on more than anything, because I think all of us could have just understood, if that's all that it was, is that sometimes you're just in something that just doesn't serve you anymore. It's just not adding value in your life, and that's okay. That's mature. It's part of evolving. It's part of, you know, improving as a person. It's part of growing, and I think that's awesome. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this. It's one of those things that you know, it kind of got a bit crazy, but I kind of just wanted to bring it all back together again and remember what's really important here. And, you know, just highlight some important things that we can think of even for ourselves in our own day-to-day relationships and stuff like that. So yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. Please hit the subscribe button if you feeling the vibe and you want to join the tribe. I would love to have you guys here. I'm going to be doing more videos about a whole bunch of different things, and also you can check out my other videos about the whole Jesy Nelson situation as well. Also, don't forget to hit the like button, and thank you for all of you guys who are supporting, who do comment, by the way, guys. It is so much appreciated. You guys have no idea. Sometimes I'm just sitting there just talking to people in the comments, and it's so much fun. I really enjoy it, and it's nice to hear from you guys, and I really care what you guys have to say as well, genuinely. I hope you guys can see that from my content. So anyway, thank you for taking the time to watch my video and to listen to me talking today. It was lovely to have you. God bless you, and I'll see you next time.